Chosen one, normal protection protocols have been suspended. A directive has been issued. The FBI director himself has stepped in and personally taken over your protection. Imagine the weight of those words. In an instant, every ordinary layer of security, the standard guards, the background checks, the expected walls and barriers, has been stripped away. A new order descends from the very top. Not an assistant, not a deputy, not a faceless department. The director, the one who rarely leaves the command post, the one who only moves when something matters on a scale too great for ordinary hands. He has left his chair, crossed the threshold, and declared, "This one is under me." Pause and let that sink in. Not just a guard station at your side, not just a protocol drafted in some manual, but the living authority of the highest rank saying, "Your case, your safety, your mission, I claim them as my personal watch." And with that declaration, something shifts in the atmosphere. The noise of the corridors dims. Radios go silent. Footsteps pause. A shield has descended, invisible yet unbreakable. It is not merely security. It is sovereignty. For he shall surround you like a shield. A whisper from eternity, echoing to the corridors of power. This is not a metaphor you stumbled into by chance. This is not theater. This is an announcement. You are not walking alone. Authority itself has moved its throne closer to you. Picture it. Black vehicles lined in formation, their engines low and steady, like a heartbeat of iron. Radios crackle, carrying codes and clipped voices that few will ever understand. A briefing room, lights dimmed, a long table heavy with files and maps. And there, in the center, your dossier. Agents lean over it, eyes sharp, hands tracing lines of strategy. The hum of their planning fills the room until suddenly, silence. The door opens. Authority walks in. Not hurried, not anxious, measured, deliberate. Every chair straightens. Every voice dies. The director steps forward. He doesn't need an introduction. The weight of his presence speaks louder than any announcement. He places a hand on your file. His eyes scan and lift, and with words that rearrange the air itself, he declares, "I'll take it from here." That moment rewrites everything. Protocols dissolve. The ordinary chain of command bows to the extraordinary. A single decision and the hierarchy flips. You are no longer under layers of distant oversight. You are under him, and in the stillness that follows, something else is heard, not with ears but with the soul. It's as if the unseen realm leans closer, as if a curtain between dimensions shifts. What looks like a tactical transfer of protection is, in truth, a revelation, because behind this earthly scene, there is another story unfolding. A script not drafted in government halls, but etched in eternity. A voice that says, "This is what it looks like when heaven makes its claim. This is what it feels like when destiny places its seal." And here's the part you need to hold on to. This vision is not cinematic fantasy. It is a coded message, a parable of power, a picture meant for you. Because soon, very soon, I will unfold what the scene is actually telling you. Why the director stepped forward is more than a security measure. Why the silence in that room mirrors a silence in heaven. Why this story is, in fact, your story. Stay with me. The revelation comes next. The scene you just imagined. The director entering, the silence falling. The declaration, "I'll take it from here." It is more than drama. It is a mirror, a symbol. Because what you saw in that room is what the Eternal has already spoken over your life. There's an ancient promise that reads, "He will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." Psalm 91 verse 11. Not a request, not a suggestion, a command, issued from the throne of heaven, executed without delay. When the order is given, heaven's hierarchy shifts, and like agents obeying the director, angelic ranks step into formation around you. Think of that. The most powerful security protocol on Earth is still only an echo of this higher protection. Every motorcade, every surveillance system, every guarded perimeter, they are shadows of the real shield, an invisible authority wrapping around your life. And here's the truth that must settle deep inside you. This covering is not random. It is not casual. It is intentional. You were chosen to be kept. You were appointed to be preserved. Your story has weight in the unseen. That is why ordinary defenses are not enough. That is why the order came down for heaven's director to step in. But let's be clear, this shield is not only for comfort. It is not a private luxury, a trophy you carry in silence. No, it is a summons. When heaven extends protection, it is because heaven expects you to move, to rise, to walk into places where others cannot, carrying a fire others do not. So I ask you, do you want to remain an observer, standing at the edge of the briefing room? Or do you want to walk into the circle of the first chosen ones, those who carry both heaven's shields and earth's honors? This is your invitation. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, the shield has already descended. The only question left is whether you will step into it consciously, boldly, with a vow that says, yes, I walk under protection. Yes, I claim my place among the chosen. Backhand index pointing right. Click join below. Declare it with your action. Enter the circle of those who do not merely survive under protection, but live and lead under it. Now let's step closer to your own life. Because it's one thing to hear about briefing rooms and directors. It's another to recognize the signs that this kind of covering is already surrounding you. Think back. How many times were you in the wrong place at the right time, yet somehow walked away untouched? How many accidents almost happened, only for something small, a delay, a distraction, a phone call, to pull you out of harm's reach? How many warnings came through unexpected voices? A friend who suddenly felt compelled to check on you, a stranger's advice that seemed oddly precise, a gut feeling that refused to let you go forward. These are not coincidences. They are breadcrumbs of a larger design. They are the evidence of an unseen protocol at work. Consider it. High-profile people in this world live under constant watch. Guards shadow them. Vehicles surround them. Their lives are managed down to the second for safety. Yet in your story, people have voluntarily taken that role. Looking out for you, alerting you, shielding you. Maybe they didn't wear suits or badges, but they were placed like guardians nonetheless. And it's not only people. Sometimes protection shows up in the smallest disruptions. The traffic jam that frustrated you but kept you from the crash ahead. The meeting canceled at the last minute that freed you from a trap. The letter lost in the mail that spared you from a mistake. You see, when you are under a higher shield, ordinary life bends to command. Schedules shift, doors close, paths reroute. What feels like inconvenience is often insulation. What feels like chance is actually choreography. Pause and ask yourself, how many times has your story been quietly preserved without you even realizing it? How many invisible assignments have been deployed on your behalf? This is what it means when we say, the director took over. It's not about celebrity status. It's not about spotlight. It's about the subtle but undeniable signs that you are not moving to the world unguarded. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll start noticing the fingerprints protection everywhere. The unexpected delay, the timely warning, the unexplainable escape, the authority figure who takes an unusual interest in your safety. All of it whispers the same truth. You are not random. You are covered. Now, this recognition is critical because awareness changes everything. When you realize you are under protection, you begin to move differently. Less fear, more focus, less hesitation, more purpose. You stop asking, am I alone? And start declaring, I am surrounded. Up until now, we've spoken about the what? The shield, the director, the signs. But now we have to talk about the why. Because protection at this level is never random. It is never awarded as a perk. It is assigned as a preparation. Every great mission begins long before the mission is public. The preparation happens quietly. The shielding comes first, because the assignment will require you to stand in places that would crush the unprepared. This is why your life has been guarded in unusual ways. Not to make you untouchable. Not to make you special for the sake of pride, but to position you for responsibility. The shield is not a trophy. It is training. It is heaven's way of saying, you will walk through fire, so I'm dressing you in flame-proof clothes. Think of an envoy sent into a hostile territory. Before the journey begins, teams assemble to map every risk. They secure clear passage, assign guards, arrange supplies, not because the envoy is more important as a person than others, but because the mission is delicate, high stakes, and cannot be compromised. That's you. The covering on your life is a clue about the calling on your life. It is heaven's advance signal that your path will not be ordinary. And if the path is not ordinary, neither will protection be. So stop interpreting your preservation as random luck. Stop seeing your survival as coincidence. Begin to understand it as commissioning. When the director steps in personally, it means you are about to step into an assignment where only his authority can hold you steady. And here's the crucial shift. The shield is not meant to make you passive. It's meant to make you mobile. You are protected to move. You are guarded to go. You are covered to carry something beyond yourself. This is why the call is urgent. You cannot camp forever under canopy. You must rise and walk under it, step by step, into the spaces prepared for you. The shield is not a museum piece. It was never meant to be admired from a distance, polished like a relic or spoken of as a legend. It is a living force, a covering that moves only when you move. This is why urgency matters. Because if you stand still, the shield still hovers, but its power is realized in forward motion. It is like a bodyguard who cannot block bullets if you refuse to leave the safe house. It is like a convoy designed to escort you, but useless if you never begin the journey. The director did not step in so you could remain frozen in awe. He stepped in so you could walk forward without fear. To know that as you advance into the unknown, you are not alone. To take the risk, to face the challenge, to open the door, knowing that you're flanked behind you, before you, a greater force is deployed. So hear this clearly. The shield is not for waiting. It is for walking, not for hesitation. For movement, not for standing in place. For stepping into purpose. And every moment you delay, the shield still whispers, why stand still when you're covered to go? The time is not later. The time is not someday. The time is now. Act under the shield. Walk within it. Move before the moment passes. There is a subtle but profound difference between being guarded and being guided. To be guarded means forces surround you, keeping danger at bay. To be guided means those same forces are not only shielding you, but steering you. Look closer at the director in that briefing room. He didn't just say, I'll protect this one. His declaration also implied, I'll direct this one. Because once the highest authority steps in, you are no longer simply defended. You are led. And this is where many miss the point. They think protection is about survival, staying alive, making it through storms, dodging disasters. But real protection is more than defense. It is direction. It is being positioned on the right path so that destiny is fulfilled, not just preserved. You are not merely spared from danger. You are steered toward purpose. You are not only kept from harm. You are carried into mission. The shield around you is also the hand before you. When you realize this, identity shifts. You no longer see yourself as fragile, clinging to survival. You see yourself as chosen, moving with assignment. You stop asking, why am I guarded? And begin asking, where am I being guided? And the more you align with that question, the more clarity comes. Doors open where confusion once stood. Roads appear where dead ends once blocked you. The protection becomes a compass, not just a cage. You are not simply under watch. You are underway. So how can you know this guidance is real? How do you discern the fingerprints of protection in daily life? The signs are not always dramatic, but they are consistent. Timely warnings. Messages arrive just when you need them. A friend's sudden call. A stranger's offhand remark. A headline that grabs your attention. They nudge you, redirect you, as though unseen intelligence is feeding you signals. Support from authority. People in positions above you, mentors, leaders, supervisors, take unexpected interest in your well-being. Sometimes they advocate for you when you didn't even ask. Sometimes they create openings you could never arrange alone. Sudden shields. Opportunities that look promising collapse at the last moment, and later you realize they would have harmed you. Relationships end abruptly, and with time you see the damage they would have carried. The shield doesn't always give explanations. Sometimes it simply removes threats before they take shape. Unplanned delays, the train missed, the meeting canceled, the deal postponed. At first it feels like frustration, but when you look back, you see how each disruption redirected your steps towards safety or alignment. These are not accidents. They are signals, markers that the director is not only guarding, but guiding. The moment you begin to recognize them, your trust deepens. You stop fighting the shield. You start flowing with it. And here's the breakthrough. Once you see these signs, you can't go back to thinking life is random. You realize every step is watched. Every detail is woven. Every detour is designed. There comes a moment when recognition must become response. You can't simply nod at the vision and walk away unchanged. You can't merely agree in silence while the director stands waiting for your declaration. Protection is not fully activated until it is claimed. Think of it like a covenant, an agreement sealed with a visible sign. In ancient times, covenants were marked with altars, stones, vows spoken aloud, so they could not be forgotten. In the same way, when heaven places a shield over you, there is power in marking it with your own visible vow. This is not about buying favor or earning protection. The shield is already yours. But by sealing it with an act, a conscious, deliberate step, you're aligning your life openly with what has already been decreed invisibly. You are saying, I accept this covering not just in theory, but in practice. I declare before heaven and earth that I walk under protection. Here is the invitation. Backhand index pointing right. If you are ready to accept this shield, take a public step. Press super thanks. Choose $20 and write these exact words in the note. I walk under protection. That phrase becomes your vow, your altar, your seal. It's not about the amount, it's about the action. The act of saying with clarity and boldness, I belong to this covering. I claim it with my life, my resources, my voice. And don't underestimate the power of a visible sign. When you move, heaven records. When you act, the covenant strengthens. What was once unseen becomes undeniable. So do not delay. If your heart knows this message is yours, if your spirit has recognized the fingerprints of protection all over your journey, then seal it. Make your vow visible. Declare with action what you already know within. I walk under protection. Now that you recognize the shield, the question becomes, how do you live under it? Protection is not a passive state. It's a partnership, a way of walking that honors the covering you've been given. Here are the patterns of life for those who dwell under the shield. 1. Avoid reckless steps. Being protected is not a license for recklessness. Soldiers do not run into fire simply because they wear armor. They move with discipline, with awareness, with strategy. In the same way, live carefully. Don't squander the safety you've been given by chasing unnecessary risk. 2. Practice humility. Nothing shatters protection faster than arrogance. The shield is not proof of superiority. It is proof of assignment. Walk humbly, remembering that the covering is not for self-glory, but for service. 3. Stay grateful. Every delay, every disruption, every escape, thank the unseen hand behind it. Gratitude sharpens your awareness and deepens your trust. The more you thank, the more you see. The more you see, the more confident you become. 4. Focus on mission. The shield is not to make your life comfortable. It is to make your mission unstoppable. Guard your focus. Ask often, what assignment am I being preserved for? Let that question shape your priorities. 5. Live discipline. Protection is a gift, but it requires alignment. The bodyguards can cover you, but you still have to walk the right route. Stay disciplined in your habits, your words, your choices. Every disciplined act strengthens the covering around you. This is how you walk under protection. Not passively, not carelessly, but consciously. You become a living participant in the shield. You live aware, humble, grateful, focused, and disciplined. And as you do, you'll discover something remarkable. Life under the shield is not heavy. It is freeing, because when fear is removed, energy is released. When danger is covered, creativity awakens. When anxiety lifts, vision clears. The shield is not a cage. It is an atmosphere, a way of walking where confidence grows, clarity sharpens, and destiny accelerates. So step carefully, step humbly, step gratefully, step with mission, step with discipline. This is how you honor the covering you have been given. We have walked through vision, through signs, through mission. But words alone are not enough. This must end not in theory, but in prayer. Because prayer is the language that seals what heaven has already begun. So wherever you are, pause. Quiet your surroundings for just a moment. Let these words rest over you like the shield they describe. Lord, let every chosen one walk under the shield you have assigned. Let no stray arrow pierce, no hidden trap succeed, no storm overwhelm. Surround them on every side, before and behind, above and beneath. Let angels form their guard. Let wisdom guide their steps. Let strength rise within them. Release them from fear. Anchor them in courage. Show them clearly that this protection is not for comfort, but for calling. And as they go, let them fulfill every assignment you have written in their book of days. Lord, let earthly and heavenly protection converge around them. Let every resource, every ally, every opportunity they need find them in perfect timing. Let them know they are not fragile, not forgotten, not forsaken. They are covered. They are carried. They are called. We commission them now to walk boldly, humbly, faithfully, under the shield of destiny. Amen.